Good morning. I am so excited to be inside the historic Tampa Theater this morning. We have Jill here, the Director of Marketing, and this is a big year, certainly for the Bay Area and for the theater in general, because you guys are celebrating 90 years. Happy birthday!
Thank you so much. October 15th, 1926, we opened our doors for the first time in downtown Tampa.
And you guys are still open. And talk about, Jill, why this is such a historic landmark, really for the entire Bay Area.
Well, back in the 20s, you've got to remember that film was a relatively new art form. So you had these downtown centers opening up multiple theaters. And over the years, of course, as film distribution changed and downtowns changed and the whole movie model changed, all of a sudden a one-screen 1,400-seat theater wasn't really making money anymore. So through the 40s, 50s, 60s, you saw a lot of these old theaters close. And we were really lucky that back in the 70s, when we had our date with the Wrecking Ball, the city stepped in and they said, you know what, you have a beautiful building on your hands. You have a John Eberson theater, which in theater circles is a big deal. John Eberson was our architect, and he pioneered a style he called the atmospheric. And what I mean by that is when you've been to our auditorium, you've seen that night sky and the 99 twinkling stars. That's John Eberson, and in theater circles, that's something special. So back in the 70s, the city stepped in, they saved the building, and so now 90 years later, we are still Tampa's Film House.
And just the building alone is like a show and kind of entertainment on its own, isn't it?
Well, we talk about the experience all the time because there's so many places you can see movies now.
Yeah.
You can watch a movie on your phone in your car if you wanted to, but there's something about coming to a stunning 1920s building and seeing one of your favorite movies with 1,400 of your closest friends.
And maybe a haunted ghost as well. You have to talk about the haunted aspect of this theater too.
Well, for those who are into that kind of thing, we have been called the most haunted building in Tampa.
Lovely.
When you Google Tampa Theater Ghost, you're going to hear about Fink Finley, our projectionist, who is still up in the projection booth. But we've had some psychics and some ghost hunters in the building that tell us we have at least half a dozen entities that we know who they are, and probably dozens more that we don't know who they are. They're just hanging out and enjoying the movies.
Oh boy, just another reason to come out to Tampa Theater. Talk about the selection of movies that you guys see here. Certainly as this is a big year for you guys, what are you picking? I mean, are these the traditional movies that you can see everywhere?
Oh, not even. We are not a Cineplex.
Yeah.
We open our doors about 600 times a year, so if you're doing the math, that's almost twice a day, and most of that is film. Most of those films are new movies. So they're the kind of things that you're not going to see on every screen in town. They're the more independent movies, the foreign films that are coming to town, what you might call an art house movie. It's the kind of things you see around Oscar time most of the time. But then we also do some live theater. So even though we have a very tiny stage, we're able to do some stand-up comedy, some small bands, and especially school shows. We actually have about 35,000 school kids a year that come through Tampa Theater on field trips. And in fact, a long, long time ago, my first trip to Tampa Theater was for a field trip.
I love that. Mine too, as well. Well, and for somebody watching this morning who has not, for whatever reason, made the venture out to Tampa Theater yet, why come out?
Because there's nothing like this in Tampa, just nothing else. There are so many things that go on in downtown Tampa every weekend, and we know we're competing for people's time, but to walk into Tampa Theater, it's like stepping back in time. We remain virtually unchanged since 1926, and you can still come in and hear our original Mighty Wurlitzer theater organ that plays before every movie. You can still sit in that 1920s auditorium and really feel what it was like here 90 years ago.
It truly is an experience like none other. Jill, thank you so much for inviting us in this morning, and we can't wait to see what else is ahead for the next 90 years at least, right?
At least.
At least. Thank you so much. And of course, for more information on Tampa Theater, all you have to do is head to our website, tvmorningblend.com. Of course, because Tampa Theater is such a historical landmark, it does take some money to help maintain the theater all year long, not to mention the theater hosts great programs as well.
But leave it to Tampa Theater to come up with a fun and creative fundraising event, like this year's Beerfest, which of course has a theme.
Of course it is. This year's movie theme is Hoppy Gilmore. The 5th annual Beerfest will tee off Saturday, June 18th. Greg Baker here is the chef and co-owner of Tampa's Refinery and Fodder and Shine. And then we have Veronica Veronica Danko. She is the owner of the Independent Bar and Cafe. Both are involved with this year's event. Good morning. Good morning. So we've heard big things about you, Chef. I know you're probably more famous than we are these days here in the Tampa Bay area. So tell us a little bit about your involvement with the festival, the Beerfest, and kind of what you're going to be making for us this morning.
Okay. I'm just going to be making a simple dish that we have on the menu at Father and Shine.
Simple. Yeah.
I like how he says
for him.
We'll fancy it up a little bit for the Beerfest, but we're just going to make some smoked mullet spread this morning, and it's kind of a Florida standard.
It is a Florida standard. Yeah, you say seafood and you're in.
So we've got some smoked mullet here. I'm not going to go into how to smoke it.
Yeah,
we don't have time for that. You can pick it up at any really good local seafood market. And
it comes already smoked, right? So all you have to do is kind of cut it up. And what are you putting in yours?
All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of diced celery.
Celery.
Diced onion.
And this is, you know what I love about this? Because I'm kind of a 10 ingredient or less girl. I like that there's few ingredients in this. This is something I can actually do at home. Cutting up some chives.
Now, is this something that you're going to have at the festival?
No, I'm still making up my mind what I'm going to be cooking there.
Oh, spoken in true chef language.
I got to throw some people some curveballs for that one. So just a little bit of scallion in there. A little bit of fresh lemon juice. Do not buy those little plastic things.
Oh, really?
It takes that much effort to get lemon juice. Yeah,
I know, exactly, right?
And then our secret weapon are these little daddle peppers. These are Florida's own chilies.
How spicy are they?
They're kind of in between a jalapeno and a serrano.
Okay, so not too bad.
So
That's manageable.
Yeah, if you can't find these, you can use a jalapeno or a serrano. And
all right, well, how good would this dip go with beer?
It's really great with beer.
Yeah, I would say so. So tell us a little bit, let's get to the details of the event while you're kind of finishing that up. What are you just putting in there, mayonnaise?
Just a little mayonnaise. We make our own at the restaurant. This is, you can use.
Make your own mayonnaise?
Yeah, I highly recommend Duke's if you need to.
Yep, I'm very familiar with that. All right, so let's talk about the Beer Festival.
Okay.
Hoppy Gilmore.
Well, this is our 5th beer festival for the Tampa Theater. All the proceeds from the festival go to the theater to keep it going as we want to keep it going.
They have education programs and they do a lot of great things.
Great events.
Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to come to the theater and mingle around and have a chance to see that beautiful place like you never normally see it if you just go for an event. You're sitting down in your seat, you watch the movie, and you leave. This is a chance to meander around and see all the nooks and crannies.
This building is unlike anything that's really in this city, I think. So
it's gorgeous.
It really is. So how does the event set up? Is there different vendors? How does it kind of, when you work your way around, what happens?
It's not vendors. The admission price is $70 for the premium tasting, which starts at 7, and then $45 starting at 8, and it ends at 10 p.m. All of the breweries, and the restaurants donate their time and
so once you get in, you're free to go and sample and taste. That's awesome.
And again, they're donating. They're very generous to donate their time and their products as well.
And that's why you're here this morning. Natalie, you ready for a little beer tasting?
I was going to say we've got to get into the good stuff here.
Okay. So what did you bring this morning? Because tell us a little bit about what you like to feature and what you may be bringing to the Beerfest.
I brought a couple of things to go with the mullet. Greg and I talked yesterday. Seafood really goes well with white wine, so it goes well with lighter beers. So we're going to taste the Cigar City Tampa Style Lager, which I think will go really well with it.
Cigar City.
A good one.
Yeah.
This is one of their newer beers, and it's really a hit. It's going really well. It's just really refreshing.
Here, I'll share.
It's a German style. It's a German style lager.
Okay.
And then I got a Belgian style saison, which is going to have a little more. Whoops.
Oh, that's good.
It's going to have a little more.
Again,
fruit
I like
flavor,
that it's light,
and a little more kind of earthy flavors. So I think both of those should do well with the mullet.
I like this one. This one is which one is that?
It's a saison.
Okay. Here,
farmhouse
is that the different one? He'll do that one. All right, so can people just show up for the event, or what's the best way to get tickets and get involved and be there?
We would encourage you to get your tickets in advance. You can go to tampatheater.org, and you can walk up and get tickets, but yes, it gets close to selling out every year. It's a really good event. It's fun, and this year we're actually closing down the street for the first time in the front of the theater, and there's going to be some golf, putting greens.
And you encourage people to dress up, kind of like and celebrate Happy Gilmore.
The Hoppy Gilmore.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be golf attire, maybe country club attire, but people really get
That'll
into it,
be fun.
including the brewers and the restaurant people too. So yeah, it's a great time.
Well, again, we talked about business owners kind of donating their time. Why do you want to do this? Why is this important to be a part of this event?
Well, the Tampa Theater is just this, it's this iconic piece of Tampa, and in order to keep it going, it needs our support, and it's
yeah.
So
why not, right? Veronica, what about you? I mean, why did you want to be a part of this? And
well, Michelle and I were asked to co-chair this, and I just wanted to get involved in that way. And now it's running, it's pretty smoothly, and we're enjoying it, and it's just very exciting. We started with. Several years ago with, we had bottled beers, and now we just get all these local breweries. Every year there's new and new participants. So this year.
Local breweries, great restaurants, great movies, great place. What's not? It's a win-win.
Yes, it is.
And all supporting the theater. That's the key. I was piggybacking off what Chef said. It's truly a treasure.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, the 5th annual Tampa Theater Beerfest takes place Saturday, June 18th. And for tickets and the info, go to tampatheater.org.